Welcome to Not a Great Whisperer podcast. This is your host, Katy Ray. I've been trying to get these two women on this podcast since the beginning for a twin episode. Jenae and Lauren are here finally after probably like 5 months, right? Since literally the beginning. But I just think they're amazing. I love that. I met them 3 years ago. 3 years ago, Lauren was my coach for CrossFit. Jenae was her sister. She'd verbally abuse her in class, and I loved it. She's like, no, this is real. But welcome to the show, ladies. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. We're so excited to be here.
I know. I'm so excited you guys are here. And I love like the sibling relationship, but I just feel like twins are intriguing to me. You shared a womb together. You're sharing a mic today. Welcome. But just kind of growing up with one. So is it really the inseparable dynamic people talk about? Like if one has Lauren that day, are you there? If you're going somewhere with Jenae, are you there, Lauren? Like, is that just how do you complete each other?
We do a lot of stuff together. I always joke and say that my husband now has 2 wives because you can't marry one twin without the other one. Yeah, always being in our life. Her and her son, Jenae and Jackson, will just show up at our house, open the door, walk in, and just join us for dinner or whatever we're doing all the time.
All the time, yeah. And I would say it's the same. She literally just tells me what to do now.
She's the oldest, right?
You see it.
How many minutes? Oh, Jenae's the oldest.
The oldest.
Oh,
shit.
Yeah.
I know. She just pretends she is. She likes to boss me around and yell at me all the time. But no, I would agree with that. We've always been inseparable. But we also have our own like private lives too. We're different in that way at the same time.
Mm-hmm. So when did you and Patrick meet?
We met at Cage CrossFit in 2013.
Okay, so did he know you had a twin sister that day when you guys met? Like, how did that come about?
Yes, he came in on our birthday.
Yeah.
And if you are a member of our gym, you would know that we do birthday burpees. One for each year that you are alive. And because there were 2 of us, we had to do 52 burpees.
Yes.
Oh, that's horrible. That sounds atrocious.
I mean, this was our like second week of CrossFit, I think.
Yeah, we had only been going for, I think, a month at the most. So we were not fit enough to do 52 burpees. And then poor Patrick on his first day had to suffer with us. So he definitely knew we were twins.
Okay.
Yes. You forgot to tell them the best part about that. Lauren always likes to joke around this is that because he came on her birthday, that it was her birthday present.
Oh, that's super
Patrick's
cute.
little birthday present to herself.
I was like, hello.
Hello, Patrick. It's just me, Lauren. So how did that, so throughout high school and everything, I feel like you guys look a shit ton alike, but you're not identical, I'm assuming?
No,
because
we're
you
fraternal.
didn't share. Okay, so yeah, but you still do like same mannerisms and all that shit, and you look alike. You're sisters. But going through like high school and everything, telling people you're twins. I mean, were people like, oh, you're not identical, or?
Well, okay. So firstly, I don't think we look like we're twins. I have completely curly.
But you're in the same class, right? Yeah, you have curly shit
curly
hair.
Yeah. I have curly hair. Lauren has more straight. I think the only time we look like we might be sisters is when I straighten my hair. Then you can like, okay, like they look like sisters. But in high school and school here, we weren't in the same classes.
Really?
When we moved over here, I think they purposely separated us because we grew up in the same classes in South Africa. But they when we moved here, we were completely separate. We only saw each other at lunch.
And how old were you when you moved here?
We were 13.
Oh shit! I didn't realize you guys were so much older.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a huge transition. What was the difference from schools there to here?
A lot.
Every
Everything.
single
we
fucking
had
thing.
uniforms in South Africa, which I actually like a lot better. I feel like the school system was a lot more strict and geared towards getting you involved. Yeah, getting involved in everything while rounding their students. So sports, education, extracurricular activities. I just really loved school in South Africa, and I did not have the best high school experience here, so maybe I'm a little biased. But
well, I just feel like the high school experience here is not the best for anybody. Even if you're good people, it's just such a competition, and cliquey, and yeah, you're totally right. But as you get older, you're just like, that shit doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. I will say that moving here, though, I mean, out of my brothers and us, I think Laura and I had it the easiest because I always had somebody in high school, so we weren't in the same class, but we had lunch together. So it was like I had a best friend moving here and wasn't going through school alone.
Oh, and you weren't trying to find a spot to sit for lunch because your sister was right fucking there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which sucks to have to think like that. Your brothers are older?
We have an older brother and a younger brother. Both 3 years. 1 3 year older, 1 3 years younger. Yeah.
So you're glad you moved?
Yes.
100% yes.
Almost headbutted. It was perfect. Okay. And I feel like 13 is like you experienced South Africa and then you moved and were able to take that with you. But how many times did you guys aren't from South Africa? It's everybody in high school?
Well, it wasn't that we didn't get questions like that. We weren't. The questions that we got when they heard our accent, because obviously I think our accents were way more strong back then. But when they heard us talk, then we told them we're from South Africa, is when we got the ridiculous questions like, did you ride an elephant to school? Did you live in mud huts? You know, do you hunt for your food?
The really intelligent ones.
I mean, we've heard it all.
Yeah, you're like, this isn't funny.
And I think we just started like going with it. Like we just started telling people like, yes, like we were really tiny when we moved here too. Like we were little. And we would tell people that, you know, we ran around in loincloths and we had to hunt our food. So, you know, sometimes you didn't eat. And this is why the way we are. We're really skinny because you don't know when you're going to go without food.
You're like, you guys are fucking idiots and we're just going to go along with it now. It's just, oh my gosh.
But people believed it. That's the thing.
Oh my gosh. So I had a rep that was from South Africa. She was amazing. But yeah, her accent was strong. But I didn't ask her any of those questions. Maybe I should have. But when you go back, you just went recently to visit, right?
2 years ago.
You brought Jackson?
I took Jax. He was 1.5 years, so I needed to get that free flight.
I totally get that shit.
And obviously I wanted him to meet my family over there and explore Cape Town, and it was amazing, and I can't wait. I think we're planning to go back in 2020. Oh, no, 2021.
I was just going to say.
2020, like a couple days here.
Lauren's Prego. She's doing March.
So we're planning to take little baby Murphy and make a little family trip.
That'd be cute. And how did Patrick kind of adjust to family life for you guys? Because all your family's most of them's in Dunedin, right?
So my dad and his side of the family all live in South Africa.
Okay.
And then my mom and her side of the family all live here, but
scattered.
Yeah, kind of scattered all over. But
your brothers, I feel like, are kind
close with my mom's family, so he
but
doesn't have
your
to
siblings?
deal with too much. Oh, yeah.
They're all around, right?
Oh.
Patrick got thrown into it. He has no choice.
Does he have a small family?
He has 2 sisters, and but I think just moving over to the States made us even more closer.
Yeah, to each other.
So, I mean, we all live next door to each other. We have like our own little colony.
I was like, send your address. And she's like, mine's this number house. And Jenae's is this one. We're literally down the street. It's the same street, same zip code. I was like, oh, shit.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
But I love that. I'm just like that. I think why wouldn't you have your family that close?
Right. And Patrick, he really took it with stride. He was fine. He loves my family.
He adapted.
They love him, so yeah.
There's a picture of Patrick running in his fire outfit and Jenae in the background and like Lauren's caption. And I love it too because that's your brother.
Yeah, we all love Pat, and I mean, if Pat doesn't love us, he's stuck with us. So.
Yes, fuck you, bro.
Like I said, he has no choice. Like he has me and Lauren.
Yeah,
every single wedding that we've gone to this year, we've got a professional photo of Patrick in the middle of me and Lauren. Like every single one, we make it a point. Like, hello,
this is here. Life. This is your life.
This is us now.
But I love that your son sees that dynamic. I think that's huge. With my sisters being in, with just being aunts, and now he's gonna have a little cousin, and I know you have other from your brother and everything, but it's just the sister duo. I just think it's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, Jackson loves Patrick. He named his fish from the fair Uncle Patrick.
Uncle Patrick.
I swear.
We even added Uncle Patrick to the
100%. Like, you know, goldfish from a fair. This is like my 4th goldfish from a fair that I've had to try to keep alive. So they usually last like 2 to 3 days. And this is a big fish, and we got him in November.
I can't believe it's alive.
Oh, it's my sole mission right now to keep this fish alive. And I'm doing it, but every single day, Jackson walks into the house, he runs straight to the fish tank, and he looks in the fish, he's like, Mom, Uncle Matt's still alive every single day.
Well, I'm glad that
Best
he's
thing ever.
accepted that it might not be.
Yes. Oh, he's
How long has it been alive?
when was it?
This is a fair fish?
It's a full fair fish.
I don't believe you.
Oh, I'll send you.
I can't.
I'll send pictures.
Those things die like on your way
I
home.
know. This is like my sole mission to keep this thing alive because I've killed like 5 of them.
Setting goals, making them
Yes,
happen.
yes,
Thank you
I'm
for this motivation.
Doing things one day at a time.
I love it. So how many houses down are you?
I'm 2 houses down.
2?
Yeah.
How's that person in the middle of you guys?
It's my mom.
Wait for it. It's my mom.
Wait.
It's my mom.
We have 3 houses in a row.
I love that.
Mom in the middle, us to the left and the right.
That's perfect. That's life. I'm 4 streets from my mom. I get it. I figure
Yeah.
my kids will build a tunnel underground to get to her house.
That's like I mean, for Jax, he loves it. He literally will look at me. He's like, "I'm gonna go to Dee Dee's house." And I'm like, "Okay," and he walks over there and he spends the day with her. Or we walk over to Lauren and Pat's house like 3 or 4 times a day.
Mhm.
Literally, I think yesterday we came over 4 separate times just to hang out and then go home to come back and hang out. I don't know why, but he wants to.
So during basically just growing up, high school, wherever, when you guys kind of figured out what you wanted to do, did you always kind of talk to each other about it, or you kind of just went on your own path, or like how did that go out of high school?
Like what we wanted to do as
Mhm.
careers.
Just in general,
and
yeah, like what you
anything?
wanted to do. Like, did you want to go to college? Did you not want to go to? Like, what was your? Did you talk about it, or
Yeah,
did you?
we
Okay.
both started college together, and then we both dropped out of college the same week
Together. Well, Lauren dropped out first. Like, well, if she's gonna drop out, why am I going? I'm out too.
Oh, so we should go now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's a perfect example of doing things together.
Yeah. But when we were younger, we were more like that. Obviously, I went back to college and finished that off, and Jenae built her whole career. And it's more that we encourage each other now, but we don't like base our decisions off of each other. We definitely did that when we were
You
younger.
influenced
though,
each
for
other.
sure.
Well, because you had each other. But yeah, but you're older now, so you've experienced a lot more. What was probably the hardest thing about having a twin? You both went.
For me,
I was like, shit.
For me, it was when I was younger growing up. Jenae was always just, everyone loved Jenae. And some people didn't even know that she had a twin sister or that I existed. So I always felt like I was in the shadow a little bit.
More extroverted, which is weird
I
because
was
being with both of you, I
super
don't see
introverted up until,
CrossFits.
Oh,
until
wow.
I owned a gym. Yeah.
Coaching
I was
people
very
probably
shy,
motivated.
very shy. And I never really came out onto my own. I always was, Jenae would make friends, and then I'd be like, "You're now my friends too." So I never ever made my own friends.
You're now my friends.
So yeah, I don't know. I guess that's for me.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right. Janae's like, mine was just having this shadow. Follow
It's really
me.
annoying having this person like always behind me, stealing all my friends. Like I worked really hard to make these friends, and she just came at no. I'm just kidding. It was never like that for me. Like I never saw it that way. Honestly, I think the hardest part for me was when we were older, a little bit older, and living together. So Laura and I, we moved out of the house. Obviously, we moved into the house together, and we lived together for a couple of years. But because we are so close and know everything about each other, we're way too comfortable with each other.
Mhm.
So I would just go into her room and help myself to whatever I wanted of hers, and we would have huge fights about that. And it was just because you didn't have those boundaries because she's my twin sister.
Yeah.
Like, I could take whatever I wanted.
Mhm.
Like your clothes are my clothes. Like we're sharing this.
Mhm.
Or Lauren would come into my room and cut my dress into a t-shirt and made a full t-shirt out of one of my
Wait,
favorite
is this
dresses.
when you're just roommates, you two? No, this isn't when you're growing up. This is like as adults.
As adults, yeah. So that was So that was the hard part, I think.
Was it
just-
cute as a t-shirt though?
I mean, I wore it all the time.
It was so much cuter. That dress was hideous. Okay, I definitely improved it.
How dare you?
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy though. But you were in a house growing up together. You didn't share a room or anything?
When we were little, we shared a room. But that was different. I don't
You
know.
didn't have your own shit.
Yeah,
Basically,
and then
it was like.
and then when we moved here, we had our separate rooms, and everything was fine then. But it was just, I think, like we were teenagers and like becoming adults, and
Yeah.
like now we have our own house, and we're living together, and we're like, we know everything. Like we're adults
Yes.
now. We don't
And
need
you
parents
moved
or anything.
separately after 2 years.
Hmm?
There's your rooster.
Oh, yeah.
After 2 years, you were 2 years together in that house.
How long were we?
Were you and Patrick dating when you guys were still roommates?
No. Oh no. We were roommates from 18 for a year. Then I moved back to Africa when I was 19 for 6 months.
Oh, shit.
And then I moved back to the States, and I can't even remember if we were roommates.
20.
What made you move back?
For 20. I realized that I thought I wanted to live in South Africa. I was not happy here. And then I realized it's not the country, it's just me. So then I came back.
Yeah.
I miss my family.
Oh, this is probably me. Okay.
But we lived together when we were in our early 20s for a few years, but that's when we started fighting pretty badly.
Well, you both were trying to figure out what you wanted for yourself, so it's probably just your closest person next to you.
Yes. And we definitely have learned that as much as we are close and we love each other, we cannot live together at all.
And that's a good thing to realize. You're not hurting each other's feelings. You're like, I'm not a good person when I'm right here stealing your clothes and making them a t-shirt.
But we have no problem living 2 houses away from each other.
You have your separate space.
And it's funny though, because now, like, again, like, we have keys to each other's houses. Like, that's no issue. Like, I can go into my house and in her house whenever I want and grab water or whatever it is. And there's no fighting now. But it was that couple of years where we just could not.
Because it was your co-space.
Yeah.
So it's like you're sharing this space where now you have your separate spaces, which is crazy. It's crazy to like see from the outside, but I get it. I can't believe my sisters lived together for 11 years together. They're so different. Yeah. I always am like, what? Are you sure it was 11? But yeah, as adults. So we always like joke with that. But now they're like a mile apart. So it's not like they moved that far, but they're better.
Yes.
Right. But I kind of get that. You had no boundaries. It's your sister. Like it's your twin sister. Yes. You shared a womb. I can't even explain.
We were womb-mates.
You were womb-mates, and you should have that shirt, and I hope you do.
I know, we need to create a shirt.
So now in your separate careers, Jenae, you're rocking it out, being a coconut shrimp marketing. Lauren, you're running a gym, you're coaching. How does that like help your relationship, but how does it kind of like we have separate I mean, that's a big difference, right? I mean, of course, you're always at the gym working out, but she's running it. So it's like, and you're going on these events for work, or like how do you kind of motivate each other, and how is it kind of like, oh, I miss doing this with you, or I miss doing that?
Well, I think that it's one of the nice things about each having these separate careers is we each get perks from them. Jenae feeds me all sorts of blooming onions, and
I love a good event with Jenae coming in with a blooming onion.
When she comes into the gym, I mean, she just gets the most amazing coaching from the most amazing coach.
Wait, hold on. What perks?
wait, I just heard your food perks. I would like to.
Are great. I get to get yelled at.
I think the first time I knew I would love you both is when Lauren was talking shit to Jenae, and she talked right back, and I was like, oh, they're sisters. I totally forgot. Like, I was just like, damn. But you kept going. I mean, I don't know if it motivates you or you just want to shut her the fuck.
No, it does. Like, she knows. Like, I need Lauren to yell at me to make me go. And she knows.
Because you're like, I'm not doing that
growing
shit.
Up, like, I was not the best athlete for, like, anytime we did sports. Lauren was, no, she's shaking her head. She knows, like, I'm honest about this. Like, I was there. I wasn't there to win. Like, I was doing the work.
I participated.
Yeah, I participated, but I wasn't the star on the team or anything. So Lauren knows my dedication, like how I am when it comes to sports. So she needs to yell at me to make me go.
But I love it because you have your number one cheerleader.
Yeah. All the other members, though, do ask to have Lauren coach them the way they coach me.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like,
it works.
What you wish for, guys.
Yeah, which it always surprises me because I'm kind of mean with Jenae. I'll be
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'll be like, okay, you need to open up your hips to whoever, and you need to put your heels down to another person. And I'll look at Jenae and be like, you just need to fix everything, and walk away. And people are like, I want that. Oh,
everything is wrong right now with what you're doing.
I don't know what you're doing, but it's not CrossFit.
Great job there. You are really bad at this.
See?
Can you figure out your life?
I'm here. I'm participating.
And you're doing great. You're nailing it. That's awesome. But when I'm assuming, how long have you been at your career, marketing?
Well, I've been
going up the ladder, right?
I've been with Outback. June will be 10 years. I've been with the company. So I started as a server at the Palm Harbor location, and then quickly started bartending with them. And actually, fun fact, again, guess what?
Work together.
Yes. I brought Lauren into, I just like started throwing things around.
We're still recording.
So I brought Lauren. She came and started working with me. We ended up bartending together. We like bartended in our own little back
How was
bar.
that?
We loved it. It was fun.
I feel like you two working together would be good.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
It was great marketing for that location. People would always like, oh,
The
twins in the back.
twins, yeah.
So, and again, Jenae was like the leader of the pack. So
I'll just make your drink back
Please
here.
go talk to the manager. He's so scary. And he loved Jenae and he hated me. So
it all worked out.
It all worked out. So then from there, a position became available, that an opportunity when I was pregnant with Jax, that they were looking for a beverage person at home office to help for the beverage team.
Oh, and you were pregnant when you got that promotion.
Yeah, I came in, I had pretty much trained for 2 weeks and then went on maternity leave.
That's awesome, first of all,
So,
for women who are in the
yes.
workforce to even feel motivated to go
Mhm.
for, because people always have that reservation, like, oh, they know I'm pregnant. Oh,
Mhm.
I remember going on an interview at like 3 months pregnant with Juliana, and because I was trying to move back to Clearwater, and I was like, they can't know,
Mhm.
you know. So you
Well,
think
that's
like
why
that, but internally it was
Mhm.
already family, right? Because
Yes.
you're already internally working
So,
there.
yeah, that was a big thing when I went to interview. I was like, they're not going to hire me. I'm about to, I'm like, I'm huge right
I'm
now.
gonna
about
give
to
birth.
Go, yes. And like, hi, I'm Jenae. I'm going to go give birth now.
Just wanted to check in
Just
before
wanted to
I
see
checked
you,
into the
I
hospital.
wanted you guys to see me. Like, here's
My
my
water
name.
just broke, but it's fine. I cleaned it up. But I'm gonna go.
If you
Just-
need me, I'll be there.
I wanted to check in. I just wanted
So
to.
I took a chance, but I got the call and they're like, yes, they brought me in, which was the best thing that ever happened.
And they
for
waited
me.
for you so you could have a maternity leave.
Yeah. So, and that I did. It was awesome to come back to, as like I started part time, was 3 days a week, and it was just perfect with Jackson, like just having Jackson, like. And my plan was to always like bartend on the weekends still, and that just didn't happen because I'm becoming full time, and
That's awesome.
I worked with the beverage team for about 4 years, and I just recently transitioned into customer relations department, so now I deal with customers.
I love that.
And I dress like a coconut shrimp every now and then,
Which
which
I
is
love.
now coconut shrimp season, the Outback Bowl. So this is my busy time of the year as a shrimp girl, which I
Super
absolutely
busy.
love.
I know,
It's my
I know.
favorite.
I think the loyalty that they got from you from even taking you on and letting you have your leave is probably huge. And every company should probably take that
Mhm.
example.
That's one thing I love. I've always loved about my career in Outback is I've grown with them and they treat everybody so well.
and being in corporate and then seeing your sister on her own, owning her own business, like, do you ever get that little like push to be like, wait, maybe I should own my own business? I feel like Outback got your loyalty though, like big time. I love showing the difference in that too.
Mhm.
Like, everyone doesn't have to be an entrepreneur. Like,
Mhm.
you can love your job in a corporate
do.
atmosphere.
And I honestly, I never knew what I wanted to do. It just all just fell into my life.
Mhm.
I grew with it, and I love my job. I love Outback. I've always
Mhm.
loved what I do every single day. And Lauren's killing it. She's rocking it.
Oh.
Like she's always been more like, this is where she needed to be, I think. And
Mhm.
like I said, if you guys knew Lauren before CrossFit,
That's what's crazy when you
Yeah.
talk about, like, before. I'm like, oh shit, no, I go to Lauren for motivation. or
yeah,
just
Lauren,
real talk.
like she said earlier, like she was more shy, and she's become like CrossFit has made her own person. Now
Mhm.
she has her own friends. She doesn't need me anymore. She yells at me. That's why she's mean to me. She doesn't need me to make friends for her anymore.
I really thought Lauren was older though, because she said it one time. She was, I was older. I'm older, but I guess it was a joke, and I think she was looking at you, but I just didn't look at the rest.
it's because Jenae always claims that she won the race of life.
Oh,
I mean, if you ain't first, you're last.
She might. It's true.
And I
it's
came
true.
out first. I won.
So you might beat
There
her
you
in like
go.
a running
Yeah.
wad, but she beat you in the race of life. I get it. Sometimes you got to get your win somewhere.
Yeah, no, she didn't even beat me when I was pregnant for the open workout. So, I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh shit, really? What a bitch for saying that. Can we just call your sister a
But
bitch right
no,
now?
listen, the entire
She's
time.
she's so mean to me, guys.
But no, the whole time she would say, oh, at least I'm going to beat you now because you're pregnant. And I was like, oh, hell
you're
no.
not though.
Watch,
you just
watch me.
that challenged her. She likes
to
a
be
challenge.
fair, Lauren kicked half of the gym's asses in the entire open. Like, it wasn't just me. I mean, I may have talked the most shit the entire time, but yes.
Oh my
Next year,
gosh.
Lauren. Next year, son.
I'm just like over here, like, damn. What the fuck? I need to lift up something, do something with my life. I know you were and it was so funny because when I'd have to like text you because I was going through all the tests and stuff in the beginning because I did IVF. You were just so understanding, and then I come to find out later, you're like, bitch, I'm pregnant too. But I was just like, wow, she's so understanding about this. Like, because I was released to do stuff, and then I was taken back, and then another test came positive, and they just kept like keeping me in this like cycle. And I was like, I need to work. I thought this baby would be different. I'm working out already. Like, why can't I keep working out? But IVF is just a different ball game. But I would text Lauren and be like, pause my membership again. And she's like, no problem. Let me know. I hope everything's okay. And I was like, so understanding. And then later she's like, by the way, my due date's 2 days before yours.
Winning.
There she goes.
And again, one.
Lauren wins again.
And here I am. So how cool is that? Okay, so how old is Jax now? 5?
He's going to be 5
5.
on March 3rd,
Which
funny
is
date.
my due dates.
I didn't even.
You
What
should see the
the
look on her face right now.
fuck? I didn't even realize that.
Again, twin thing. People say
That's
twin things aren't real.
insane.
So Patrick always says to me, because I'll tell him, me and Jenae have the little twin senses or the twin thing going on. He's like, it does not exist. I'm
But
like,
now he's like, fuck.
So I told him, listen, because we were trying to have a baby, and I didn't realize there was like a 1 day a month that happens. I learned that
Things I've learned about my body.
Yes, I know.
It's another
So pregnancy
episode.
and gestation mean the same thing. It's another thing I learned. But so I was visiting him because he was in paramedic school, and it would never land on that date. And I was like, just watch. We're going to get pregnant in June because that's when my sister got pregnant, and that's just how twins work. And sure enough, got pregnant in
So
June.
does he believe the twin thing now?
He better.
Oh, when
It's
my
like
due
he's
date was
experiencing
Jenae's
it.
son's birthday, he was like, that's weird.
That's
Like, yeah.
insane.
Mhm.
I did not realize that. I love being surprised.
You know, I mean, she's literally having like the exact pregnancy that I've had. Like
Just with a girl.
just with a girl.
Oh, the same like feeling like if you're feeling good, you had a great pregnancy too.
As far as that goes, yes. And also, we've done all the same things. Like, my dad came to visit in November, and we went to Harry Potter Land, and
Yeah.
just things like that.
Literally, I mean, like I said, Lauren pushed me around. That's the only difference. They made me get a wheelchair when I was at Harry Potter Land because I looked down my ankles and they were huge. They were so big. And like, you need a
Accepting
wheelchair.
of our ankles
Yeah,
is
it
hard
was
for me
the
too.
one day. But then this year, all my cousins were in town. And again, we went to Universal Harry Potter Land. And Lauren's the exact how far along I was when I was there. So it's literally she's having the same pregnancy as me.
That is so cool.
Love it.
I am amazed right now. The March 3rd thing just like if your husband doesn't believe in that shit, he's an
Yeah.
idiot.
And it's not just pregnancy. Like, I mean, it's our entire like life growing up. We've always had the twin thing.
Did you have like this? Did you know like when she was going through a hard time, like the sixth sense?
Well, for example, I think it was either right in the end of high school or just graduated from high school, and I was staying at my boyfriend's house at the time, and I was taking a nap and woke up and just knew something had happened to Jenae. I was like looking for my phone, and it was ringing, and I found it, and I answered. I said, "What happened?" And she'd gone into a car accident, but I'd known before she called that. So little things like that.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
That is insane.
Yeah.
And that's all throughout your whole life. You
Oh,
guys
yeah.
have fun.
Like the whole finishing each other's sentences. Now, I know that comes along with just knowing someone,
being together.
but I'll be singing a song in my head, and she will start singing it like at the same spot where I'm singing, like in my head.
I think
I'm
that's
like,
so
am
cool.
I singing that out loud? What?
That's the one
Yeah.
thing that the twin thing that's awesome to me because Jaden could have been twins and then this one could have been twins. And in my head, I'm like, that'd be pretty fucking cool to watch them just like, because I have a friend who has twin like 1-year-olds and I watch them and they literally just like walk the same. They grab the same thing. And you're just like, wow. I mean, having two at the same time is overwhelming.
Well,
but
my mom tells us all the time that she says that Lauren and I were actually the easiest out of the kids growing up because she
Shut
would just
up.
put us together and we would
You
entertain each
entertain
other.
each other.
And we've been like that our whole life. We always say this to each other, like, you can put Lauren and I in a room, a white room, no windows, no walls, no nothing.
kind of now.
Like now, but with nothing, and we would have the best time. We will
Isn't that
just
funny?
we would just entertain each other.
I think that's insane. And I do think you guys, I looking at you, you are both straight haired today. If you were curly haired, it would throw me off.
We really only look alike when we both are super hungover. And yeah.
It's true. Yeah. When we look the worst, we like look like we've had a long night and no makeup, hair, like we look at each other like, oh yeah,
After we
we're twins.
puked like for 2 hours straight from being hungover, we look so much alike. It's the
You
greatest.
should see us after.
Do you like the
Next
same
night out.
stuff, like food and stuff? Things
I
like
mean,
that?
We do. I think we generally, but Lauren likes like like the only example I can think of is like Lauren likes spicy, so she puts hot sauce on everything, literally everything.
Oh, like now too, pregnant?
Oh yes.
Oh, that baby. Poor baby.
I mean, I'm getting
kidding.
heartburn, but I don't.
You're gonna get it anyway.
Whatever.
Eat your hot sauce, do your
And
thing.
Jenae likes like baked goods and sweet desserts, and
Which
that's
is
just
important
not
for
my
life.
Yeah, I don't like that stuff. So
Okay.
So it's a good balance. So she can
Yeah,
eat all the
she-
spicy food and I'll eat all the cake. It's great.
So our plates are great.
great.
We'll share everything. What do you think the funnest part is of like being there for each other during pregnancy too? Like to have a twin. I feel like 'cause she was there for you,
Mhm.
right? Because you
Oh, yeah.
were you living together then?
No, we weren't living together.
Okay.
But I mean, like I said, she was there
Oh yeah, you were younger when you were living together.
through everything. She
Mhm.
was in the room. I mean,
And
I
now
think-
you get to help her through
I
it.
know. I don't think she had fun in the room, but it was great
Oh, you
having
were
her
in the
there.
room?
Oh yeah. Look at her face.
it was terrifying. The doctor wheeled up on a chair and then pulled down this like welding mask, and I was like, What's that for? Why is there such a big mask covering her face?
It was
And at that point, I knew I wasn't going to be okay for this pushing.
Listen,
It was very, very
I'm
hard.
on my third and I still get scared shitless of delivery. People are always like, you're a pro now. I'm like, I don't want anything to do with it, but I have to get this baby out.
I just remember looking at Lauren, like
Her
I had
face.
epidural, and I was great. Like it was.
Yeah, you're like,
I-
what are you doing,
And I-
girlfriend?
it was, for me, it was in really easy labor, which I'm very thankful for. But I remember looking at Lauren, and I looked over, and she's standing next to me, and she is pale. Like I mean, pale. Like she's about to pass out. I just looked at her. I looked at the nurse. I'm like, can somebody get her a Coke? She's about to pass out on me. Like
I kind of want her awake for
I mean,
this.
She was struggling pretty bad. I think she had a harder labor than I did.
Oh my gosh. Was it that bad? Are you scared now?
I'm not scared.
Because she went through it fine. It was just watching it, maybe.
I think it was just like the welding mask thing that like threw me off. And then there was Twilight on the TV when the girl was giving birth at the same time. So it was like
we did.
very terrifying. And then it was
Where
just
did you give birth?
Morton plot. I loved it though because I was like during pushing I was watching Twilight and she was doing the two like
Oh my
we're
gosh.
doing this together, girl.
This is a great delivery story. I can't. Can someone get my sister a Coke?
I just like I don't know if I was holding my breath when she was pushing and like trying to help her, or if it was just because like her eyes were kind of bulging and red. I don't know, but it was not settling well with me.
Was it just you two in the room?
Oh no, and my mom was
And your mom's there?
yeah.
Okay.
So it was
Oh, man.
but Lauren's her whole life, she like you put a needle out, she's gonna pass out. Like
No, I
she
get
can't
it.
handle that stuff.
I'm not good
So
with
well
that
that was a very extreme, but you handled it like a pro.
Yeah. She's super proud of you during
Yeah.
her birth of her child.
Yeah. I mean, even like the moment they put Jackson on my chest, I looked over at Lauren first, and Lauren looks at me, and Lauren just starts bawling,
Oh, yeah.
bawling, and then I start crying, and
Oh.
Lauren's crying, and that was it, like game over.
Everybody's crying. We're all
Yeah,
crying. The
she
welding
started it.
mask doctor is crying. Everybody's
Maybe
crying.
she was crying because she was glad it was over.
Thank you. Where's my Coca-Cola?
She pushed for 20 minutes. I could not have handled anything. I mean, and
Isn't
this is
that
me. I
crazy?
didn't have to do anything. I could not have
You're just
handled
like,
anything longer than
no.
that. So
Aw.
thank you for
I think this-
doing that.
Will she be in the room with Patrick?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't want anyone like down low. I want them up by my shoulders.
Mine
and-
were all by my shoulders, girlfriend.
Yes.
I wouldn't have wanted her to be down low.
Yeah, like the whole
That's not
pooping
my-
thing. That's what scares me
That's
the
not my
most,
thing.
probably.
Which,
but
yeah, that's real. That's real.
I know.
But it's also like the nurses do their thing. They're fine.
Yeah.
And you're in Morton Plant too, right?
yes.
And we know so many nurses there. We're fine. But yeah, I kept I was like, just stay here. And then when I couldn't feel my leg from the epidural, I was like, can you help me lift my leg? Hey, I'm feeling good. Just living my life, just riding the wave. But I totally get that. But I love that she's going to be in there too. And it's kind of like your cheerleading squad. They're just there to really hype you.
Mhm.
I mean, you were going to pass out. I wouldn't
Yeah.
call you cheerleader for Jenae.
Yeah. I was not doing so good. But I just think it's going to be so important for her to be in the room for me too, because she'll know more than anyone what I'm needing
and
what
how
I
you're
need,
feeling.
and like to be able to like stand up for me and stuff, because I can be a little bit of a pussycat.
Mhm.
Is that the word?
Yes.
Wuss.
Yeah.
And Janae's not afraid to be like, okay,
No,
no, she
yeah,
needs
and you
this,
don't
she
wanna
wants
speak
this.
up,
And
yeah.
she'll be able to tell just by looking at me like, okay.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's good. You're the asshole, but in an
Yeah.
important way.
Mhm.
It's
Well, I'll
important.
say Lauren did one good thing for my pregnancy. She literally looked at me because she came to one class with me too. Like I only took one class, and she was my partner with me, and
Yeah.
we learned to swaddle the baby. But
Yeah.
The one thing Lauren took from that class was when you think you're ready for an epidural, like you need to get it because like time can come where you can't get it, like it'll be too late.
So she told you that?
Yeah, and so Lauren's like, "How are you doing, Jenae?" I'm like, "I'm fine. Like I think I can ride this out." And Lauren's like, "Remember, Jenae,
You only have this
the
time.
nurse is going to tell you it's coming, but it's not coming. Like you pass the time." I was like, "Okay, give me the epidural already." So if it wasn't for Lauren, I wouldn't have got it because I was like,
Don't forget, you
pretty much gave it to me, and I was
That's
like, game
so
over.
true,
So
though.
she saved me for that.
I tried going and I was like, I'm going to see if I can ride this out. It was like 10 minutes later. I'm like, I'm ready. Thank you.
Next time I'm going right in, but like I'm ready.
Remember that wave
No
you told me
ride.
to ride? I'm just ready now. Thank you. I love that. That's amazing. So even though it's hard living together, were there any times where you guys didn't speak for a while?
Yes.
What? Like,
It's always Jenae's fault. It is.
Choking on water right now.
you're like, damn it,
Here
she
we go.
dashed.
Here we go.
There's been 2 instances where we did not speak for like 6 months at a time because
Well, how hard is that for you guys? Is
it
that like
was
a
hard. It was really hard. It was really lonely for me because I had no friends. Jenae was fine. She was living the life. I hung out with my little brother. But it was because she was dating. Both instances, it was because of the guy she was dating. I just did not like them, did not approve of them. They were really horrible, mean people. And she was just so in love and couldn't see it. So we would fight and I'd fight with them. And
Because you would honestly tell her,
oh, they
which
were
is super
awful.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you're protecting her, but
oh,
at the
for sure.
love is blind.
she very blind. Very blind.
Lauren has never approved of a single guy I've ever dated. So.
Ever?
To be fair, she's never dated a good guy. And that's the truth. I'm
One that
Can you admit it?
She's right. No, she's right.
Right now,
Right now.
this is on every
Honest.
podcast platform. Admit it right now.
No, she's. I mean, clearly, I'm not with them, so there was a reason for that.
Yeah, of course. But it's more like, no, this is who I'm dating, and you were kind of like defending
And
that.
I'm in love. Like, I
Yeah.
was like, I didn't see anything. Like, I saw
Mhm.
that one person, and that's it. And I mean, I think everybody goes through that too.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you have your blinders on. You don't want to hear what anyone's
Anybody has
saying
to
about
say.
it, and until
You're like,
when
this
you're
is
out of it,
great
you're like,
for
oh,
me
man,
right
like,
now.
yeah.
You're like, no.
Well, to be fair, I gave them all a chance, and then I just was like, no, this.
So 6 months at a time, but didn't you feel kind of lonely a little, Jenae, or you were kind of wrapped up in those guys at that time?
I mean, this is gonna sound terrible, but I was with my boyfriend at the time, like, and I think
This is gonna sound terrible.
I know
It's
this
true.
is terrible, but it's true. Like,
It's not
like,
though. You're right.
Yeah, like and I think everyone goes through this. Like when you first meet somebody, you do kind of
Mhm.
cut out your friends and you cut out family because you just want to spend time with that one person. And I mean, I didn't realize Lauren was. I mean, I guess I did, but again, I was in love. I don't know. What do you want from me, people?
No, it's not. It wasn't like she wasn't being mean or nothing. It was just,
No, I know, you just
right.
didn't.
But I think that's probably one of the things that we've always had issues with is Jenae and her relationships with me. Just like even now, if she's dating someone and if she
You're
either
protective.
does give them a chance or doesn't give them a chance or whatever,
She
I can't. She can't hear it from me. She has to hear it from somebody else because I think she always is just gonna.
So you just
think-
tell your one friend to tell her.
One friend I made in my life. Will you tell Jenae? So yeah, I'm trying to back out of it, but also if she starts dating someone that is not right for her, I'm gonna tell
Of
her.
course.
So
Of course. And you see it from the outside where you're like stuck in it. Like we're in it. But did you like Patrick right away?
We love patty cakes. We do since day one. I mean, he obviously, Patrick.
Yes.
He is just Lauren on the same point. I mean, I've gotten along with. I think that's the opposite. Like I've gotten along with all of Lauren's boyfriends. I mean, her one ex was literally my best friend
Oh, shit.
growing up. Like he was the first friend I made when we moved here. So I've always been very close with her boyfriends.
Did you guys ever like the same people? Like crush
No.
on people?
No, I think
Because you have different types,
we have
right?
completely different
Yeah,
tastes.
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, and guys.
very different.
Clearly, I have shitty taste.
By the
She
way,
has a good
Lauren's face is like, hell no.
Well, I've always just
Clearly,
dated like really good guys, really nice, genuine, decent human beings.
I had the
Jenae,
bad
not so
guy
much.
stage. I get you,
Clearly, I
girl.
think they're complete
I get you,
opposites.
girl. Yeah, no one could tell me my ex was a
Yeah.
bad person. And I'm like, look back, I'm like, why didn't anybody tell me? They're like, oh,
Mhm.
we tried. Like we tried. But I get that. That's good though. You knew to go for the good guy, which is super important.
Yes.
It just is. And her best friend was a good guy and you dated him.
He is. He's a good guy. Yeah, and Jenae, I guess that the qualities that I really cherish in somebody, I don't know if it's just she wasn't ready or she hasn't been ready to cherish those qualities or look for that. I don't know. I want to say that it's not me just being protective and no one's ever going to be good enough for her.
Yeah.
But
it's different qualities of character.
right. I mean, I genuinely just don't think she's ever dated a good guy. So.
We really brought them on today to talk about Jenae's picking men. This is really what the episode is
I'm
about.
having a great time. I love this.
This is what we just wanted to discuss. This is like an intervention.
I just walk into an intervention here?
No, but the 2 times you didn't talk to each other is what happened here. This is not this is not to pick on you. But I also think you both are very independent, so you both see that the qualities have to kind of bring out the best in you. And your sister just saw that it probably didn't at first. But the 6 months had to have been, for me, I feel like, because twins and like when sisters and brothers don't talk, it's like you're missing like that like quick fix of just support and love. So like that 6 months where you weren't talking, you kind of filled it with your boyfriend, and then she's sitting there like, where are my friends?
I used to go pick up my younger brother from school and hang out with him, so I had him.
Look how close you guys are now. Like, you're welcome. It really made your relationship that much closer.
But now that you, have gone through so many experiences together, do you guys kind of wish that you had twins?
100% yes.
I absolutely want twins.
Yeah.
Yes.
I always say that all the time. Like, being a twin, I would love to have twins. Just knowing like having that feeling, having you always have your best friend no matter what. And it's actually, I know a couple twins too, like that aren't as close as Lauren and I. think I don't know, maybe we're just really weird at how close we are. But
no, I don't think so.
I don't understand how you can't be close with your twin. It makes no sense to me.
Like, you literally did everything in life, like timeline wise, together, like side by side.
Yes, I want twins so badly, and I think it's so hard for people who aren't a twin or to have like what we have, to understand like how it's so special, and it's so hard to explain the bond that we have.
I know your bond isn't literally unbreakable, but it's also like, and you both went on different paths for yourself. Mm-hmm. But you always met in the middle. Like, it's always just support for each other. You literally just put your mom's house in the middle of you.
Yeah, I mean, even like for Lauren, like to think like she moved to Daytona. There was a year in her life where she was in Daytona and school in Daytona, and this is every single day. I lived in my little condo by myself. Every single day, we flipped the computer screen and it was Skype. There was no FaceTime. And Lauren and I would sit on Skype with each other, and it would just be open. All like, if I was home, I was on Skype with Lauren, and we weren't even talking. Like, we're just watching TV or
That's so
having like, oh, Lauren's still there. Hey, Lauren, what are you doing over there? Like, we're eating. But that's literally every day when I was home, we would be on Skype with each other for that entire year. Like, that just shows how close we are.
So, okay, we're gonna end this on your favorite thing about each other.
Oh.
Put it on the spot. Oh, really?
She obviously has to think about it.
She's like, oh, super hard, Katy. Thanks for this question.
I love just how laid back Jenae is. She's always been that way. She you can throw anything at her and she's like, whatever, just takes it, rolls with it. And she's just literally like, you can ask any of her friends, the funnest person to hang out with. Like, she's just the light of the party. I always say she's a wooer, but like in the best way. People like are just attracted to her. So I just think those qualities are my favorite thing.
Oh my God, we're gonna laugh.
Tell me more.
No, don't stop. Don't stop.
What else do you like about me? Carry on. This is like the one time she's nice to me.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so what do you like about me?
It's my turn now.
So I'm choking.
Yeah.
I love that Lauren is such a hard worker.
Oh.
Yeah, she always has been. I mean, she took 10 years to get through college. 10 years, different career. Like, she changed her career. Her degree a million times, but she did it. And she's always done studies first. She's always pushed herself to, like, she get what she wanted. And I always love that. And now she has a whole empire of CrossFitters to thank for it.
You do.
She's amazing.
You're a super hard worker. And I love that I know Lauren from CrossFit, so I only see that Lauren. So to tell me that she was more like introverted before and now she's like a leader of a pack, it's kind of fun. I mean, I'm in that stage of your life, but to know like that it took you time to find what really brought out you Like, so, and that's for everyone. I mean, it takes sometimes time to just figure out what makes you click, and to have that support throughout all of it, this crazy bitch with all her friends. But you attract everyone, but some she does not like who you attract. Remember that from this episode.
Yes.
Just remember.
I'll never forget
But I
that.
do love twins, and again, I just don't think my body will hold twins, so it's like, no, thank you. But I do feel like that bond is really hard to explain to people. And that's why I'm always like, guys, can we do a twin episode yet? Like, what the fuck? Because of how, you could play each other's sentences or something, but no, like, you literally knew when she had a car accident, or 6 months was, like, lonely for you because you weren't talking to her. Like, things like that. Like, that's, like, a feeling because you guys were together for everything.
Absolutely. And, I mean, she's my best friend. And, you get married and they say that your husband will become your best friend. And Patrick he's my best friend, too. But my sister's my best friend.
I love saying that.
Well,
like,
so,
yeah, like, and Patrick knows, and Patrick had to accept, like, you're not only going to ask me for advice, but you're probably going to call your sister.
100%.
Or you already called your sister and you just asked
everything
me
we do,
second.
it's the Lauren, Jenae, and Patrick show. Like, we're all three always together.
And I love
Jackson.
it.
I was gonna say Jackson. He's there too.
Oh, yeah, he's always there. I love it. And I think it's fun to kind of, I take you out of an element where you kind of have to recognize, like, we are so different, but we are so much alike. And twins rock. Twins are pretty awesome. I hope one of you have twins.
Hope so.
I think
hope it's me.
I mean, you kind of are 5 years later with the same due date, which we're going to have an episode after this when you have the baby, because I need to know. The world needs to know, with my zillion viewers, need to know if you had it on the same day.
Okay.
Which is
good.
super intense.
Yeah.
I can't even, that was like the showstopper for me tonight. Like, when you
Your
said it, I was
face.
like, shut the fuck up. You're like, Jackson's birthday, here it is, March 3rd. I love that. I'm getting induced a week before, so I'm going to beat you. Sorry, winner, chicken dinner, unless your water breaks, just so you know.
We'll see.
This might launch after or before, right before we have the babies. Can I say her name?
Yes.
Sweet Murphy and Jasmine come into town. Lauren and I will be competing for who has the baby first. Winner. But thank you, ladies. Go over CrossFit and stuff so we can promote Cage CrossFit stuff, like website and everything.
Oh.
Handles or
Okay,
whatever.
so Cage CrossFit is located in Largo, Florida.
She's doing a commercial.
Our website is www.cagecrossfit.com, and we do all sorts of things. Personal training.
All the
group
things.
Fitness. You get yelled at by me all the
super
time.
motivated.
So yeah.
No, I love it, and I'll be right back in when I can work out again. And Jenae, we'll see you at the Coconut Shrimp Bowl.
Yeah, if you guys are watching the Outback Bowl, look for a giant shrimp. That's me.
And you'll find both of them. No, that's me, literally.
Literally,
It's going to
I'll be the shrimp on the field.
And you'll find them at Not a Great Whisper podcast, Instagram, at The Real Krey, Krey, and katyray.com. Tune into the twin episode. I love your stories. Amazing. Thanks for joining, ladies. And we're at BK and Creative Studio. You heard Ebor in the background with the roosters. And you will be going out with Morty's music. Thank you, ladies, for joining.
Thank you. This was so much fun.